I mean, I would consider myself unique. There's not very many. Often you come across a black Irish, born in England, orphan who speaks Gaelic fluently, who's born again Christian, who's an ex-soldier. You know, my life makes me unique, and therefore I don't have any regrets about where I've come from. I was born in 1961. My mother had been married or was married to a guy from Leitrim by the name of William James Feeley. She was from Portlaw, County Waterford. She suffered from probably what we think at this stage is postnatal depression, but it wasn't known back then what it would be. Eventually the marriage broke up, and 4 years later I was born. She couldn't obviously go back to her husband because I was not her child, so I was a black child from an Irish married woman. So she tried to come home to her family in Waterford, was disowned by them, coming back, you know, somebody else's child from outside of her marriage. I think I would have been somewhere between the age of 4 months and maybe a year when the authorities took me from her, and she was sent packing, and I was sent across the country to an orphanage in Clifton called St. Joseph's School. All the young babies would have been kept in this room, and somewhere around here in the centre here there was a round table where they used to change babies' nappies. I actually remember my nappy being changed here all those years ago, so it's quite amazing. Anytime we got birthday presents, they were taken from us and they were put into those presses and they were locked away. So there's no point in it. You got a birthday present and they locked it away. And so we used to say our birthdays were in those presses. Actually, see these numbers here. You've got number 85, 85, 86, I think it's 87. There are numbers on the side. Every kid, every orphan had a number. So I would have been 38 Feeley, which is, and if it was 36, it would have been very strange because when I was in the army, the last two figures of my army number were 36, so I would have been called 36 Feeley. I joined the army at 18 and I went nuts. I drank like a fish, did all the wrong things that I shouldn't do, fighting and you name it. But somewhere deep down, the underlining thing was this desire for what I would say God. Couldn't understand it because the night before I could be beating the head off somebody, drunk as a skunk, and yet the next day I'm there kind of searching my whole heart going, where's God in all of this? So there was always this foundation of this little kid, hands in pockets, walking maybe the back roads of the orphanage, talking to God. And a black kid in Connemara. So it comes full circle when I'm 21, I'm in the army. When I became a Christian, a born again Christian, and began to take the Bible literally and, had a spiritual experience that I believe was from God. So I grew up with this sense that God was. And, religion to me wasn't something I had to have get my head around. It was just an innocence of seeing creation and all of that and talking to the God who created all that. So every evening it was my job to make sure the spuds were peeled. And then once they were done like this, it took all the skin off them, threw them out into a big basin, and then we'd have to take the eyes out of the spuds to peel spuds. That's ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. Can't believe that's still there. Holy God. And so you woke up every morning if you'd wet your bed and you were, you were terrified because you were going to be beaten for it. So there was also hunger. Times you were not getting fed, so we would have problems with kind of sicknesses related to malnutrition. I won't go into them in detail, but they were there. I wouldn't want anybody to go through it. It's horrendous. Growing up with my kids, that for a long time I would have probably been overbearing.
It took a long time to learn that, but I would say, what they would say would be maybe something different, but I would say, yes, I would have had a very positive effect on my children, but it would be underlined with a lot of negativity, which was a result of my own upbringing, but hopefully over the years began to change. I've, done everything that you could possibly do. I've gone nuts. It makes me who I am. I don't apologize to the world for who I am. I embrace who I am, and I'm proud of who I am and where I've come from.